All right, welcome everyone to another Tuesday review, and this time a very interesting, very colorful looking game, very unique styled game for you that I'm going to review today. And this game is called... Alright, this game is called Narita Boy, which, as you can tell, has a very, like, Tron-esque look to it, if you've ever seen the movie Tron. That idea of being, like, in a computer world, it's very much about that. It is a very interesting game. It's actually by a developer called Studio Koba. It's based in Barcelona, Spain. From what I can tell, this is their first game. They have nothing else to their name on Steam. Visually, the title screen looks pretty good. Like, a lot of effort has been put into this, a lot of talent has gone into this. So you can tell, yeah, this is actually something catches your eye. Now you can use a keyboard or controller, either one. We're going to be using controller, and I'm going to do a whole new game. I have beaten this game, I have gotten all achievements, I have 100% of this game for the most part. There's actually one section that I didn't access, but all it is it just kind of lists everyone who backed the game, who helped to make the game possible. That's all it does. Let's get into the game here. Do a new game real quick. Kind of show you the game. This game has an autosave feature, so you don't save the game manually. It's an autosave. You see a icon of a cassette tape pop up every time it saves. Very 80s-esque, and has a very 80s feel to it. Like the music, the look, it feels very 80s. This guy is the creator of this digital world, and he is actually forgotten because this program, him, has affected his memories. So now, his memories are gone, and we have to go through the game and retrieve his memories. There's actually one optional memory, and you collect these like 5 discs that are hidden throughout the game. But the rest of the memories you have to collect, get all the memories, restore all the creator's memories. You can tell the pixel art is very good, and at times it's very simple, like, you know, but also very effective. Very epic announcing of the title. It likes to title drop a lot. It does that a lot in this game. So we're basically this young man who is sucked into a computer world through this computer, and how it all connects. Like, you're given very little information, and this game does a fairly good job of actually revealing the story along the way. So that's actually pretty good. Works really well. Your controls will start to be very limited. Right now I can only walk. You gotta talk to people, be like, alright, how's it going? So basically we've been summoned to save this digital world. That's pretty much like the basis of it right here. Okay, so we have to open the door. Ooh, push button. That's how it does. There'll be sometimes you have to push a button, sometimes you have to get a key, a disc that's a key to open an area. Now we can jump. Drop down. This beginning part really just gets you familiar with all the controls, which is really, really cool. It tells you the controls, doesn't really hold your hand too much. As you can see, visually is a lot of flashing lights. It's a game that if you have epilepsy, I wouldn't play this game, because all the flashing lights you have here, it is going to trigger something. But it looks visually stunning. Like the dark blue, sort of like monotone everything, but then you get these like bright flashing red, blues, and yellows that just really stand out. It has a really cool look to it, very interesting look to it. So she'll explain to us that we're the hero. We have to basically save the world with the Techno Blade, which is really cool sound for a sword, really cool name for a sword. I want a Techno Blade, thank you very much. Can I have one? I will say the beginning is a bit... It takes a while to actually get into the action of the game. There's a lot of like talking to people, a lot of like building up everything. It's not a bad thing though. If you're looking for a game just to get into action right away, this won't be it. It takes a while to get fully into the action when you're starting to fight things. A lot of talking, a lot of reading of story, a lot of explanation of things. So if you want a game that's like gonna build a whole like story, build the world before it throws you into the action, this is fantastic. If you're not into it, you might not like this, just to warn you. But it's pretty cool. I thought it was pretty interesting. It does this. I like the world building in this. Like, it really establishes everything. It makes you feel like you're actually invested in the game, invested in the story. But when the game does get into it, it has a really good amount of action to it, a really good amount of fighting. Now we have the introduction of enemies here, kind of slowly. It's like, hey, these red things are enemies. Watch out for them. You can grab these blue glowing areas, remember that because that'll help you access other areas. There's also yellow glowing ones that you can grab, but you slide off of. Now here, this section was basically where I'm going to get into a nitpick on this game. This whole section right here is basically platforming. Now I'm doing it fairly well, but when I first did this game, when I first played through this game, this was actually quite annoying because you notice this jump is very floaty. Like, you hang in the air for quite a while. And it makes trying to be very precise in the platforming very difficult. The floaty jumps work really well in combat though, because there'll be some enemies, especially bosses, when like the floaty jumps will actually be super handy and super helpful. But then there'll be times you'll be like, can we not have floaty jumps, please? Can I not jump in a floaty manner? Because I don't want to. A lot of exploration. As far as game length, this game took me a little under 12 hours to beat, which isn't super long. It's not super short, but it's not real long either. Price-wise, this game is $25, which for the length of game is a little pricey. Here it is. Press X repeatedly. There'll be parts where you have to meditate and you have to press X repeatedly, and it's like epic meditation. And the dancing. The Techno Sword, the Home Run, and the Shotgun, and the Ultra Beam. Yes, we have an Ultra Beam attack. Hold on a sec. Boom. Use those like little ammo things in the bottom. You also have you get like a dodge attack, which you have to be careful because when you're attacking, you have to like make sure you're not attacking to be able to dodge. So be very careful. Like, you have to be very precise with what you're trying to do, what you're trying to get done. But yeah, just the look of this game, the visuals of this game, it looks so beautiful. Plays very well, but I will say the platforming with the floaty jumps takes some getting used to. You do have a healing ability in this game that you get eventually, which is very handy, but it's very limited too. So you very much want to get good at this game. This is very much a get good game. It's not just a, okay, just run in and slash a bunch of times. Enemies will have patterns to them. They'll have weaknesses. They'll have things you have to do to be able to actually attack them and actually do damage. And that's basically the game right there. Is you go through, you attack, you get more story, you unlock areas, you learn about what's going on in this world, why things are the way they are, the whole backstory. You learn about who your character is, because you're not really told who your character is in the beginning, or why you should even care about what's going on, or the creator, or about this world. But eventually, slowly, you find out. You start piecing things together and figuring out what's going on, what's happening, and it turns out to be really cool. Like, the story is the strength of this game. As you get later in the game, the boss fights get harder. Areas get harder, they get more challenging, which is awesome. It's a good thing in this game. The boss fights, even though like the final boss fight took me several tries to finally beat, and that one was a pain. But I still enjoyed it. I still enjoyed like working at it, getting through it, figuring out how to survive the boss fight, and I did. I managed to actually nail it down, to get the patterns right, and finally beat him. And it was so satisfying, so wonderful to finally beat that boss. I enjoyed it. This is one game I would definitely recommend playing. Just be warned about the jump. And again, with combat, it's not going to be like a really like quick instant response that you might be used to from going from attack to dodging. So be warned about that too, because I know some games, especially modern games, make it where you could be like mid-attack and then suddenly you're able to dodge right that instant. This game has a more realistic way of it, where if you're like mid-attack, you can't suddenly dodge. So if an attack's coming your way, you have to make sure you're not like in the middle of attacking in order to dodge something, to dodge through an enemy, to avoid taking damage. So be very mindful of that. Other than that, this game was so much fun. It was so much fun, so beautiful to look at, so enjoyable to see. For a first game from a indie studio, fantastic. Love everything about it. Wonderful. I look forward to what this company has. They leave the game open at the end for a sequel, so we'll see what the sequel brings. We'll see if a sequel comes out, but I hope so. I hope they make another game. For the price, like I said, it's fairly pricey of a game. So if you don't mind dropping $25 on this, it's not going to be super long, but it will be a fun time. But that's what I have to say about this game. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you. And as always, if you like this video, be sure to like the video, thumbs it up. If you didn't like this video, be sure to thumbs it down. Either way, I appreciate you very much for getting here to the end. If you want to see more of my content, please feel free to subscribe. Or you don't have to if you don't want to. That's fine too. If you just like watching my videos occasionally, that's cool. But either way, I appreciate you. Stay awesome. You're all amazing. And we'll see you next time.